Well, CC, we want to talk about my favorite subject. Why? Why? Because in this business, the most important element for success is really understanding why. And if your why is strong, then everything else is easier. I mean, never easy, but if you know why you're doing this, or you know why you need this, and if your why is strong and you really believe in it, then rest of it is kind of, it's given, right? It doesn't have to be perfect as long as you're willing to do certain things, and your willingness comes from why, and so I asked Sissy, let's talk about why, and she's going to train us. So go ahead, Sissy. You're the man, or you're the woman.
Awesome, Kwang Soo. All right. So listen, you guys, again, when you know why you want to do something, you do it. When you, look, I don't love cooking, right? I don't love to cook. But when I know why I need to cook, right, then it's easier to find my way into the kitchen and some pots and some pans and putting stuff in, because I know why. I know if I don't do it, guess what? Nobody else, I'm home alone right now. Nobody else is going to do it for me. Now I have a reason why I need to cook. Anything that we want to do, we need to know why we want to do it. And so we've talked about this time and time and time again. And literally, guys, every so often we're going to go back, because it's for two reasons. One, because it's that important. Now, I want you to have it. I want you to have that why and be crystal stinking clear about it. And then and what we're going to do with it is we're going to take it and put it off in the distance in the future. And then we're going to act in our now, because this is where our power is. We only have power in the now moment. But we have to have, but that why becomes like a beautiful magnet, you guys, that's pulling us forward from the now moment to that place that we're looking for. Right? So I want us to I want us to think about, and I want us to talk about, why are we here? Many of these names I have seen. I've been helping Kwang Soo with this call for 6 months now, Kwang Soo? And many of these same names I've seen, a couple new ones here and there, but many of these same names I've seen. So that says you've been here investing your time, your energy, and most importantly, your hope in creating something new. And so I want us to get reattached to that, because so much of your story is around that why. So I know all of you are not on screen, but I want everybody to participate. So expect that I'm not going to today. Know that today I am not going to wait for volunteers. You all are leaders. That's why you're here. So I'm going to open up your line. You're going to step up and you're going to start talking. So I'm giving everybody fair warning, so that they're not embarrassed. If their line gets opened, they need to start talking. But I'm going to be the example. So that you all know why I'm here, why I have invested my time. I committed 2 years ago to our Tuesday, Thursday calls. Right? I've been doing Kwang Soo's call as soon as I found out about it. I think I found out about it 1.5 years ago. And I am consistently a part of this call. And let me tell you why. And I'm telling you, it changes, but the foundation stays the same. Last night, I was up until about 4 o'clock in the morning, doing something that I never do. I sat on my sofa and I watched videos about politics and random stuff, right? Why did I do that? Because I felt so sad. Why did I feel sad? because my husband left to go out of town, and you know, he'll be gone to tomorrow. And if anybody knows me, they absolutely know that if I never had to be separated from this man, not for one single solitary second for the rest of my life, that I wouldn't be. I wouldn't be. The whole reason I ran so hard at Isagenix in the first place is because I was on the road 175 days a year, and I absolutely, like, I wanted to be home with him. So me freeing me was the first part of this journey. The second part of this journey is now about freeing my husband. Because I don't want to, look, I spent 19 years away from him. If I didn't have to spend 19 seconds away from him, I wouldn't. Ever, ever, ever. And that's why I will continue to show up. That's why I'll continue to work. That's why I continue to go through these lists and conversations. All of these are conversations with people I have, and I will continue to do it so that we can create our freedom. So that I don't have to ever sleep in bed without him ever in life if we don't want to. That's why. It's hard. What I'm looking to create for us is really hard. My husband makes an incredible living for our family. So to replace that and then replace it in a way where he'd feel comfortable really releasing it, it's hard. But we can do hard things. Kwang Soo, can you quickly, while you're here?
Yeah, my why is very simple. I've been an entrepreneur. I've been a businessman all my life, and I started my business when I was junior in college. And more, there's less place for small business people. Apple's getting bigger, Amazon's getting bigger, Facebook's getting bigger, and all the small business people are disappearing. And I'm a sole breadwinner in my family, and that's why I'm here. I gotta do this, make it successful, so that we can live. That's pretty strong incentive. So that's my why.
KC Glower. It won't let me unmute you, so you'll have to unmute yourself. Why are you here? Casey, can you hear me? Okay. Cheryl, I'm going to unmute you. If you guys don't know, you see I'm unmuting the people whose screens are not on. So I'm doing you guys first. I'm just telling you. I'm just telling you the method to my madness.
Okay. All right.
Why are you here, Cheryl? You're here. Listen, Cheryl is here virtually every night of the week on our 8 o'clock call. Cheryl is here on most power hours twice a day. She's here most Saturdays. Why?
I'm here because I want a better life. Being able to, right now, the reality is Social Security is not enough. And looking at other options, there's not a other option that I can see that is worth the effort, because working a job is not an option. And this gives me an opportunity to not only help myself, but help others so that they won't have to experience the things that I've been through, going through, and not to be dependent on anyone but God, instead of, having to ask for help and different things of that nature. So, and to be in a position to be blessed to be a blessing.
Thank you, Cheryl. That wakes you up in the morning?
Yes.
Love it. Love it, love it, love it. How about you, Eric? Eric is another one. Eric is, listen, Eric is in the UK somewhere, no, or Europe somewhere. I can't even remember. I think he's in the UK. Eric is on call sometimes at midnight, sometimes at 2 in the stinking morning. He's on Saturday calls. He's on Friday calls. Like, why? Eric, why? Why?
Okay, let me tell you where I am. I'm actually in West London, about probably about 3 miles from Heathrow. So that pinpoints where I am. But why am I here, right? I've done this, the second phase of a journey I'm taking. The first phase was phase 1, and on that, it was about getting my health back on that. So that was the journey to losing the weight, and incidentally, I did get to the finalist on the IsaBody, but that's a journey done now, right? So it's completed, that one. What I'm on now is the second part of a journey. I've got a vision, and my vision is I can see this as a mechanism for making an extremely large amount of money in a relatively short space of time. So I'm focused on that as a vision. You say, why am I here? Right, I'm here on the events, because every time I come into an event, literally every time, I pick up one little nugget which will help me on the next part of the journey. The next part of the journey is money. It's money orientated, not health orientated. I've been through that journey, so now it's money orientated. And when I listen to you guys, every time I listen to somebody, I pick up something. It might be a sentence, it might be a strategy. There's always something there to pick up on. I'm in the process of implementing stuff which, can you remember when I first started coming on your Saturday events, right? I'm actually at a stage now where I'm implementing something that you said, CC, weeks and months ago, right? But it takes time to implement it, right? So it's part of the process. So you can't do, well, I can't do everything in one night, but part of the process is I listen in, make sure I'm staying on track, and then doing something every day. So I am making progress, but it's not showing up in the numbers yet, but it will. I mean, what I'm setting up now will show in the numbers maybe a month or 2 months time, and then it will move fast. I mean, what I'm looking for is rapid growth, but I have to put the groundwork in first. So I'm doing that now. That's my why. So my main why is it's a challenge, right? So I've set myself a challenge in the same way as I did for the weight loss. It's my personal challenge to be able to do it. And then I can show other people, yes, I've done it. And I've done it from this end of the age spectrum as well. So that's me. That's my why.
Thank you, Eric. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. Thank you. I'm gonna put you back on mute. Sheila, let's have you share. And tell us why you're here, why you're doing this. Again, Sheila's somebody who is on most nights calls. She's on Power Hour, you know, several times a week, 5-6 times a week between the 2 sessions, Saturday training. Why? And I'm going to tell you, I literally watch her be so uncomfortable inside of herself doing the things that we have trained her to do. And she will do it, come uncomfortable, do it, cry after crying, do it, you know, with butterflies in her stomach. Why?
Way to go. Make me cry right off the bat.
I see you, Sheila. I see you.
I told Cece before. I have a good life. I don't need income. My husband had a good job. I still have my parents' farm, which was my first introduction to residual income because my parents had been farmers. They worked really, really hard and bought land. And when they both died in 2010, I'm an only child. And so I was gifted this 200-acre farm that was 100% tillable. And I had a gentleman that had been farming it for my dad. And he and I talked, and he asked if I needed a contract from him. And I told him that I didn't need a contract from him because he and my dad had a gentleman's agreement on a handshake, and I wanted to be the same. He to this day is still farming for me. I expect he's going to retire soon, but he has a son who's ready to take over that farm. But every year I get 2 checks from this gentleman that keeps me very well. But I was introduced to an international organization called Heifer International. My dad raised hogs, and we always had chickens. My mom, we either put them in the freezer or we ate the eggs or, whatever for food later on. I have eaten more ham in my life than probably any of you because we raised hogs. That's what we had, so that's what we ate. Hogs and chickens. Well, Heifer International is an organization that gives a pregnant animal of some kind to a family around the world. And once they have had this baby, then if there's more than one babies, they raise it until it's weaned from its mother and then give one of the babies back to Heifer International. And what this does is it perpetuates feeding these people. It perpetuates them having their own business so that we don't have to see starving, hungry, penniless people around the world. And I am just, I'm excited to give to Heifer International. I have done it many years in honor of my parents at Christmas time. So my grandchildren know that they don't get a chicken for Christmas, but they give several to a family somewhere in the Far East or in China or wherever Heifer International happens to be seeing a need. And so Cece asked me, she said, Sheila, what if you do not make any money to do that? What is that going to do to these families? Well, it's going to decimate them. It's going to keep them poor. It's going to keep them penniless and hungry. And I don't want to see that happen. So I get up in the morning, and I'm the one who took the emphatic no yesterday and let it shut me down for a few minutes. And I want Kwang Soo to know that my new mantra is I am here looking for business, not inducing it. And I'm like Eric, this is the reason I come to every one of these, because one of you says one little thing that just inspires me to keep on doing it. That's my why.
Thank you, Sheila. Thank you. Natalie, I'm gonna take you off mute. I can't, let's see, you have to take yourself off mute. Natalie, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. I want you to share with us, again, you're somebody that new to Isagenix, relatively speaking, you've really been sharing it a lot, but you have another business and yet you're here. Like there's something that keeps drawing you back here. There's a why that you're doing this that I want you to share with us. Like why? Why is it important? Why do you need to create an income here with Isagenix?
Okay, Sheila, you had me crying too. So, she did. Um, I'm here first because of health. Um, and one thing I've learned with Isagenix is not just about losing weight, sorry. It's just remaining healthy, just a healthy alternative too, you know, so it's not just losing weight. I've had a lot of health problems, like my aunt CC found my high blood pressure problem when I was living back in Ohio, and she like flipped out on me and her nephew. And I didn't even know about that until that day. We was actually taking care of her mother-in-law, which is I call it my grandmother. Watching my dad with the heart transplant situation he's been going through for the past 2 years and seeing that. And then second to that also, another alternate way of income. So I do have my own travel business. Isagenix is second to that too. Well, first, they're both, I do them both together. So they're together. Now I'm not gonna say second. But first is my health. So it's led to me having cysts, surgery about 2 or 3 times to get them removed because they kept coming back. And high blood pressure. I gained a lot of weight truck driving. I used to be like 200 pounds. So I lost some of my own. And then with Isagenix over the few months I've been doing, I probably lost about 20 pounds, I guess, since I've started. But I'm here because I just want a healthier choice, not just to lose weight, because I'm not, you know, overweight, but just a healthier choice. And to see how my aunt and my uncle and everyone been doing it for 5+ years, it's like, this is something that just replaces groceries in your home. And I kept telling, I was like, I have to buy food too. My uncle goes, it's groceries. So say groceries. So I think of that, and I'm young, so it's better to catch it now instead of waiting, which it doesn't matter, you know, of the age of when you catch it. But, you know, my cousin, my aunt has been working with him side to side because she's there in Ohio with him. She's actually met up with him face to face. And I was so surprised when she FaceTimed me. And I was like, oh my God, you know, and just seeing no matter what your age is, and just when Sheila told me her story, you know, it doesn't matter your age, you know, it works for everyone, you know, just it's better now than later. So
I love it.
and that's why I'm here.
Thank you, baby girl. Love it.
Auntie.
Casey, I see you're back. I'll take you off. Casey is someone that has been with me for 4 years. She came with me as I transitioned from from the wrong room of the house to the right room of the house. She's been with me since almost day one. And you're still here. And it's been a struggle. It's been a struggle. But you're still here. Why?
Well, the main reason I'm still here is I don't think I'd be alive without Isagenix. Because basically I was breaking free from a 38-year life of domestic violence. I weighed 219 pounds. I was barely 5'4". I was chronically ill for 30 years, and stress will kill you. And I was faced with having to break free from a man who not only was my abuser, but was losing his mind. And I was at rock bottom, totally rock bottom. And it saved me. And I have my life back, and I have a purpose, and I have a calling in this world. And Isagenix will be part of my life forever. And I know so many people have struggles wherever their stress comes from. I'm one of those, Kwang Soo, who believes everybody. I walk into a room and I say, there's not a person in this room that can't benefit from this product. And maybe that's part of my downfall. But you know, it's not about weight, it's about health. And the transformation in my health is like absolutely phenomenal. And so, yeah, so I think there's so many people I can serve, there's so many people that will benefit from once they take control of their health. And the other thing is my son, he's 6'2". He dropped down to 138 pounds while he was in college. And the beauty, what it did for me when I sent him a box of Isagenix, knowing that when he was sick and when he wasn't eating, he would still make himself a shake, was like it was beautiful to me. And I know there's so many other people that worry about their children if they just knew that this nutrition was there for their children. And it got my son's health back. And I think he was suffering from malnutrition among everything else. And that's the end part of my life, is I lost everything breaking free. So I'm rebuilding, and Isagenix is my financial dream and also my legacy for my son. He was deprived of a lot in his life, and it's the least I can do is to provide something for him so he'll never be in the position I was, broke, worried about having a roof over my head, losing my house, losing everything with nothing to fall back on. And I never want him to be in that position. So I have many reasons, but I love Isagenix, and I love the family of Isagenix and the community of Isagenix and the integrity of Isagenix.
Yeah, this is home for you, girl. I know it. Thank you for sharing that.
Mhm.
Margaret is also somebody that I see that, is a constant, right? Like it's a constant, and she has this beautiful, quiet, pleasant demeanor. Margaret, why are you here with us? Here, let's see if I can help you on mute. Oh, nope, you got to do it yourself. Sorry, darling.
Okay, I got it. uh, I'm here. I'm one of the few people that retired with 3 income streams, and it's enough to be comfortable and meet my daily needs. But if something unexpected happens, then it doesn't meet them. Like I made a mistake. 4 years before I retired, I bought a house, and I thought, oh, it's not a no-brainer. It's a totally rehabbed. It's going to be fine. But since then, these disasters I lost my porch because a branch fell off a tree. The whole porch went. We've had 4 floods here in the basement, and 1 total in the basement. And you're talking about $20,000 for all those disasters, and that's a lot of money. So I just need another income stream to meet the disasters. But more than that, I'm here because of my health. Before COVID, 60% of the people that went bankrupt it was because of health, and that concerns me. So I want to be prepared for anything. And I not only that, the financial freedom is intriguing and gives me hope, because I want to have fun the rest of my retirement and go places and do things. Go to San Diego and see my nieces, and just go to Provincetown, to the beach, especially the beach. I just want to have fun and do things for people, and I want to help my autistic niece or nephew who's really severely autistic, and he needs some kind of something in case something happens to his mom and there's nobody to take care of him. I want to put something away for him, just things like that. But what keeps me coming to the meetings is because of you. You take away a lot of my fear and give me a lot of hope, and give me incentive to face those no's and figure out what to do next. That's why I keep coming back, and I feel great. I lost 22 pounds on Isagenix, and gained my energy and my I feel free. It's just great, and that's why I'm here.
Love it. Thank you, Margaret. That's so cool hearing that. All right, last but certainly not least is my friend Farmer John. Farmer John, tell us, and again, like consistent, you guys, right? Like consistent. Farmer John, why are you here?
I have to work on myself. I've been told for my whole life that I've been controlled. The information that's come to me has been controlled. My actions have been controlled. My income has been controlled. And I'm to the point where I'm in transition. I'm transitioning from something I've been doing for 60 years that I know the limits of taking their toll on myself. And my life plan didn't come out quite the way I'd planned it to. I'd planned on doing something completely different. And not that I am disappointed, it's just the way the game got played out. I expected to be farming on my own this time in my life. My father's 92, he still farms. That was supposed to be, you know, the transition, but it's okay. I'm now 67. I've also learned that it's not about that I have to own it and control it. It's just I have to be active in it. I'm happy. So I've gone to I've helped other people build up their farms. I have a comfortable spot now. I have my freedom to come and go more as I choose. I now have my Social Security, which just keeps me alive. I need another income source to take care of all the increase in bills that will come. But with my health being in good shape now, I'm not so worried about my bills. But I also have a background. I have the information. I've seen a lot. I can help other people. And I know that's something I need to do. So I've been working on myself so that I can feel comfortable in my own skin helping others. You have to have your confidence. And when your confidence is there, your story comes through better. If you have a wishy-washy existence, people aren't going to follow you. They're looking for a smooth ride.
Yep.
And so it's taken me a little longer than I expected. I have got sidetracked on another thing that I told God I would investigate and try and help with. So I've probably spent another year or two more, let's say, holding steady, learning, working on myself than I had planned to do. But in the future, you're going to see me start climbing.
Love it. Love it.
And thank God for all of you people, because without all of you, especially Chuck, Cece, and now Sheila, her stories and stuff, it makes you feel like you can be part of something really good. I know we've all been involved with things in the past that didn't work out for many reasons. And some of it was because of the community just wasn't there. We now know we have a great company. We have great products. I love the fact that, you know, these were inspired by a man who has a tremendous amount of experience. He's got the heart. He's got the desire. He has the why to do this. We're here with a company that is here to help people, not help themselves. And we all have been with many companies, traditional, networking, whatever, they're there to build their list or build their wealth. And I see this as a completely different animal here. This is for us. This is not for them.
Amen. Woof. Look, I don't think anybody could have wrapped it up better. I'm so smart. Look, how did I know to put you there, John? I don't think it could have been wrapped up better.
Like, you've been around me too long.
That's what it is, right? Never too long. Never too long. That's it. Like, guys, that's it, right? Those are your whys. And I want you to use them as a guide. Like, I literally want you in your hand, hold them out. And I want them to be right out in front of you. I want you to constantly be thinking about that financial freedom. I want you to constantly be thinking about that legacy for your son. I want you to constantly thinking about your health. I want you to constantly be thinking about Heifer International. Like, I want it out here in front of you. And I want you to remember that the only place you have power is in your right now. It's in your right now. So I'm going to give you 3 things that I want you to do, that 3 actions that you can take in your right now that's going to make a difference of getting you here. Right? And all of these 3 things that I'm going to share with you are all around our night times, our 8 p.m. events. Okay? So we all know that every night, Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night, we have a 8 o'clock opportunity meeting. On Thursdays, it's moved out to 8:30, right? Because we're partnering with the team on the West Coast. But Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night, 8 o'clock, Thursday at 8:30. Here's what I want you guys to understand, like why you want to leverage those opportunity calls. Because here's the reality. I for the most part, I check in when people have guests. I check in. Did they enroll? Did they not enroll? Did they enroll? Did they not enroll? Right? So this is not scientific, but what I'm going to tell you is just based on, I know based on my team, I can't say for Kwang Soo, but in some of you that I've checked in with, close to 80%, listen to me, guys, close to 80% of guests who enroll, the guests who attend enroll, and on my team, it's been an average of 7 to 10 days later. 80%. Tell me what you guys are seeing. If you've had guests on, how many? If you've had guests on, are you seeing your individual and guests enrolling? Just put it in the chat box. Put it in the chat box. So like I said, what I am seeing is about 80% enrollment. So here's what that says, especially from a place of leverage and from a place of learning. How amazing is it that you get to, that from a standpoint of, you get to learn and practice one skill, that's the skill of inviting, and allow people, allow me, allow Kwang Soo, allow Duncan, allow Chuck, allow Christy, allow people that have created success around a conversation, allow those people to help support and deliver that conversation. So what that says is, in the beginning, so literally every last one of you on here, with the exception of Kwang Soo, no, that's not even true. Even Kwang Soo and Chuck and I lie. We have 2 jobs, but everybody else has 1 job right now. And that 1 job is to get good at inviting, right? That it's to get good at inviting to that event. So so what we're going to do, that's that first item that I want you to challenge you to do is, again, continue to get good at inviting. How do you do that? We have our pivot script that we've been going over for the past couple of weeks. You know that script. I want you guys to find some groups, put it in the chat box, find groups of 3 so that you can practice those scripts with those groups. Now, if you want, you can always get on the Power Hour, and I will, if you want to practice those scripts, I will practice them with you. But the point is step 1, get good at inviting by practicing. So I haven't seen any people raising their hands in the chat box and say they're looking for somebody to practice with. All right. So get good at inviting. The second thing that I really want to challenge you guys to do is get good at follow up. So what does that look like? What does that look like? Get good at following up. So one of the recommitments that the team and I have made, the team and I that are doing these events for you guys on those evenings, with the exception of Thursday, we've committed to keeping that training to 30 to 35 minutes max. If you remember from the template tells you to instruct your person after you invite them, to instruct them, hey, listen, the call is going to go around 40 minutes. That's so that we can give you all the information. You have everything to know whether this is for you or not. And then I'm going to give you a call after that. So what we're doing is, by keeping the calls to 30 to 35 minutes, telling them it'll be 40, but we're having them block out an hour. What it does is going to allow you to immediately follow up after the event. Now, if they say, well, I can't talk that night, no worries. Great. You know, what time tomorrow works best for you? I'm available at 2 or at 6. What works best for you? Right? But I want you to, number 2, get good at follow-up, and and we're not shortening the events, but by keeping our commitment to that 30 to 35 minute window, and you keeping the commitment to calling people immediately thereafter, that's going to give you that follow-up that is going to make a difference, right? So that's step number 2. And step number 3, I need you to get good at being consistent, sharing your Isagenix story. So there's so many ways that you can, we all know that there are millions of ways that we can share our Isagenix stories. I don't even care what that is. It doesn't even matter what that is, whether that's talking to somebody at a grocery store, whether that's talking to somebody whether that's sharing your story online, on Facebook or on Instagram or on LinkedIn, whatever that is. I need you to constantly share your Isagenix story and get good at sharing your Isagenix story, right? One of the things, Casey, I wish she was here. I wish she was here, because her story is so stinking powerful. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to find Casey's story, and I'm going to read you all Casey's story, because I want you to hear it, because I want you to know, yeah, that's it. I think I just found it. I want you to know, I want you to tell Casey, she's not immediately on the screen, but I want you to tell her, if you heard this story, and this can be the framework for your story, but if you heard this story, wouldn't you be excited to learn more? And her story says, and you heard part of it today, but this is her story that we designed and we practiced. She says, I've been chronically ill for more than 30 years. I was used to being sick. I didn't know what life was like without feeling bad. Being that sick for that long cost me nearly everything. My job, my savings, my mental health, even prevented me from showing up for my son. In 2016, I had finally hit rock bottom. I had nothing left. No money, no health, no energy. A woman I trusted recommended that I just give something called Isagenix a chance. After 3 days, I started to feel better than I had in months. After 3 months, it was like night and day. I had limitless energy, I was treating myself better, and I released 35 pounds. And for the first time in 35 years, I had the strength and the confidence to fight for my life, my health, and my freedom. And because I was sharing Isagenix with others who also wanted to feel better, I was earning enough money to handle some of the challenges that life was throwing my way. And what I'm most excited about is that words like fun and joy and happiness and travel are now a part of my everyday life. I feel good every day, and I don't take that for granted. I'm excited that by continuing to share this gift, I know that soon I'm never going to ever have to worry about money again, and that I'll have the financial stability and freedom to pursue the rest of my dreams. So if you heard that story, like, wouldn't you be excited to know more? Right? So if she had 3 jobs, if you had 3 jobs, right, that I want you to continue to get good at over the next week until we're back here again next Saturday, I want you to get good at practicing, right? Practicing that invitation script, that pivot script. And I'll put it with the link to this. I'll put these 3 things, actually. I'll put all 3 of them. I want you to get good at practicing that pivot script. I want you to get good at following up. I want you to get good at following up after the calls. We're going to keep them short so that you can follow up immediately thereafter or schedule a call. And then
If I could only deliver my story as well as you deliver my story. That made me cry.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt.
That's all right. And I want you to choose to get better. So that's your 3rd choice. Get better and consistently get good at sharing your story. Guys, that's it. That's all you have to do. Let others of us do the rest. Let us do the other heavy lifting. You focus on those 3 things. And we'll be here. We'll commit to those times. We're going to commit for another 12-week run of doing these calls every night for you guys, 4 nights a week. Get good at those 3 things. Leverage those calls. Success, so much of success, so much about you being your own stimulus check, so you're not waiting around on the government to figure out what they're going to do so that you get another stimulus check. What you need to help you be your own stimulus check and to help other people create their own stimulus checks. Growth, ownership, leverage. Growth, ownership, leverage. And that's what you're doing. Growing your skills. Practice those 3 things. Ownership. Take ownership of your life. Take ownership of your responsibility. Ownership. And then leverage. Leverage people. Leverage a man who has created 7 figures in multiple businesses. Leverage another man who's created multiple 6 figures in this industry. Leverage a woman who's created multiple 7-figure businesses in other industries. Leverage us. Leverage this compensation plan. Leverage the people that want to pour light and joy and beauty into you. Leverage Sheila's story. Leverage Casey's story. Leverage Cheryl's story. Leverage Farmer John's story. That is how you become your own stimulus plan. All right, you guys? All right. Whew. Okay, I got a little excited. Sorry. Any questions before we get started, before you guys get started on your 3 areas of practice? Thank you, Sheila. I love you too. Eric asked a great question. He said, what's the ideal length and time for that story? So, okay, that probably was 2 minutes, but we want to keep it to 60 seconds to 60 to 75 seconds is like the sweet spot because people start losing interest there. I normally, when I say her story, I normally say it a little bit faster, but I said it slower because I wanted you guys to hear the words of the story. John said I need an e-shot. I love you guys. I love you guys. I love you guys. All right. Well, listen, that's it for today. The link to the Power Hour, I will put it here in the chat box, but the link is the meeting ID is my cell phone number. If you have my cell phone number, you have the you have the link to our Power Hour. Just put that in as the meeting ID. Our Power Hours are Monday through Friday at noon Eastern and again at 6 p.m. Eastern. Get on, ask your questions if you have them, but then just be ready to work, right? Or be ready to practice. Whatever it is you need, that hour is dedicated for you guys. All right. I love you all. Have an amazing day. I'll put up the recording in a bit. Have a great day. Bye.